Okay, let's talk about something we all use every single second, but almost never think about: the electric grid. It's this invisible network that powers literally everything in our lives, but here's the thing: it's under an incredible amount of strain. So today, we're going to look at a super ambitious plan from X, Google's Moonshot factory, to basically rebuild our entire understanding of it. The project is called Tapestry.
And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, just try to wrap your head around it. The electric grid is the biggest, most complicated machine humanity has ever built. It's a staggering piece of engineering that keeps the lights on, our phones charged, our entire world running. We completely depend on it.
So here's the paradox, right? For something so critical, no one, not a single person, not a single company, has a complete top-to-bottom view of the whole thing. It's so massive and so fragmented that it's become, for all practical purposes, invisible. And that invisibility, well, that's causing some really big problems.
At its heart, the problem is that our grid is just old. It was designed more than 100 years ago for a world that looked totally different. And today, it is being pushed way, way past its breaking point.
Here's the best way to picture the problem. The old grid was a simple one-way street. Power flowed from a huge central power plant, down the wires, and into your home. Easy. But today, it's a chaotic, multi-directional superhighway. You've got solar panels on millions of roofs pushing energy back onto the grid. You've got electric vehicles pulling massive amounts of power off the grid. It's this two-way flow of energy that the system was never, ever designed for.
So what happens when you put that much strain on an old system? Well, first, things start to break. We're seeing global power outages double as the grid just struggles to keep everything in balance.
And second, it starts hitting you right in the wallet. All of these inefficiencies are making energy more expensive for every single one of us. Third, it's actually holding back progress. Because nobody can see the whole picture, it takes, on average, 6 years just to get new clean energy projects like wind and solar farms connected to the grid. 6 years.
And finally, there's the environmental cost. The grid's own inefficiency is responsible for a huge portion of global emissions. So yeah, the picture isn't pretty. The system is strained, it's expensive, it's slow, and it's dirty.
And this is exactly where Project Tapestry comes into the picture. It's what's called a moonshot, a radical idea using some seriously breakthrough technology to solve a massive problem. And the goal is, in a way, very simple: to make the invisible grid visible.
This is their official mission, and you really got to focus on the second half of it. It's not just about seeing the grid for the sake of it. It's about what that visibility unlocks for all of us. Energy that's reliable, affordable, and clean. It's about turning a huge technical challenge into a real human solution.
So what is Tapestry really? Think of it as a single platform powered by AI. Its whole job is to take all this fragmented data from dozens of different disconnected places and, like the name says, weave it all together into one coherent picture. For the first time ever, it creates a complete, unified digital model of the entire electric grid.
Okay, so having a unified model of the grid is the goal. But how does that actually fix the problems we've been talking about? Well, Tapestry uses a couple of really powerful AI tools to attack the problem from two different angles: planning for the future and protecting the present.
It's actually a really smart two-step approach. Step 1, a tool to plan for the long term, decades into the future. And step 2, a tool to monitor and protect the grid in real time, right now. Let's dig into what each of those does.
All right, the grid planning tool is all about the big picture. It lets grid operators ask these massive what-if questions, like what happens in 2040 if a huge heat wave hits on the same day that there's absolutely no wind for our turbines? Simulating something like that used to take weeks. With Tapestry's AI, they can run hundreds of these complex scenarios in just a matter of days. That is a game changer for finding the smartest, cheapest, and cleanest way to build a grid that won't fail us down the road.
Then you've got GridAware, which is focused on the here and now. You know, inspecting power lines is usually this slow, manual process. Well, GridAware completely automates it. It uses AI to scan images from drones and can spot a frayed cable or a sagging power line before it breaks and causes a blackout. It's a perfect example of using AI to make our power supply more reliable and, honestly, cheaper to maintain.
Now, this isn't just some idea stuck in a research lab. Tapestry is already out there in the real world. They're working with partners all across the globe to put these tools to work and start weaving this smarter grid into reality.
And they're not doing it alone. You're seeing a truly global effort here.
from PJM, which is the biggest grid operator in North America, to national systems in places like Chile, the UK, Australia, and South Africa. It just goes to show that this is a shared worldwide problem, and organizations are collaborating to fix it.
And that really brings us back to the big question. The complexity is just immense, and the stakes really couldn't be any higher. But by making the invisible visible, the hope with Tapestry is to transform the fragmented, strained network we have today into a system that's resilient, clean, and reliable enough for our kids and their kids to count on.